Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Macon Fieldhouse on the campus of Westminster College for today's matchup between the Fort Lewis Skyhawks and your Westminster Griffins. At this time, we ask you to please rise for the playing of the national anthem.
Westminster Athletics welcomes all players, officials, and spectators to Macon Fieldhouse for tonight's contest. The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference is committed to sportsmanship. We take pride in the conduct of our student athletes and coaches, and ask that everyone, coaches, athletes, and spectators, treat opponents and officials with respect. We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team during tonight's competition. At the same time, please demonstrate the respect you would like to be shown as visitors on their campus. Unruly, threatening, or obscene behavior will not be condoned at tonight's game. Thank you for your cooperation and support. Please enjoy tonight's contest.
And now, let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the Skyhawks. Number 2, Kendra Swackenberg. Number 4, Haley Christiansen. Number 8, Bailey Longacre. Number 11, Bella Valdez. Number 13, Maddie LeBlanc. Number 19, Ohia Shirley. And the libero, number 1, Addison Hayes. The Skyhawks are coached by Trisha Melfi and Brittany Engelbrecht. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Westminster Griffins. Number 4, Jamie Lindbauer. Number 5, Abby Louise Olsen. Number 6, Taylor Harvey. Number 10, Amber Landholm. Number 12, Audrey Green. Number 16, Sydney Simmons. The libero is number 2, Hannah Stearman. Your Griffins are coached by Al Gibbons and Stephanie
Welcome to Division II Athletics here at Westminster College as the Westminster Invitational is underway as the Griffins take on an RMAC foe from their own conference in the Fort Lewis Skyhawks. The Griffins did go 2-0 against them last year, looking to get their first victory against the Skyhawks that will not count as an RMAC contest due to Westminster Invitational. Al Gibbons returns once again for the Westminster Griffins head coach, as he's ready for another season with the Westminster Griffins, as it's the first year the Griffins are eligible for conference play. The Griffins are coming off a tough weekend in Dayton, Florida, as they went 1-3, got their final victory 3-0 against Shaw University. As we welcome you guys into the broadcast with David Vito Winkworth once again back here inside the Macon Fieldhouse in on the campus of Westminster College. The Griffins and Skyhawks are getting ready for the second game of today's actions. The Griffins will be back here later tonight against Lubbock Christian. The first game went to Tremont State in a 3-0 finish against MSU Mankato, as Tremont State University, the Bulldogs, are a top team in women's volleyball, as we'll see the first serve come here from Jaylee Laurenbauer for the Westminster Griffins, and RMAC action is underway here on the RMAC Network. Thank you guys for stopping by and tuning in, as the first bump goes over from Lamborn. Lamborn sees this one for the Griffins, tap it over, and she'll get the point for Westminster. As the Skyhawks miscommunicate their starting sets as the Griffins take a 1-0 lead. Laurenbauer once again serves it to the other side. Bumped, set, spiked up high to the other side for the Skyhawks. Griffins get it right back. Lamborn spikes it over to the middle of the floor. That was caught cleanly by Shirley for the Fort Lewis Skyhawks. Back to the Griffins side. Simmons taps it over and gets the kill. Diving for that one was number 2, Kendra Swackenberg, who couldn't keep it alive for the Skyhawks, and the early 2-0 lead goes in favor to Westminster. Another serve to the other side. Bumped up cleanly by the Skyhawks. Tapped over and blocked cleanly, as once again Kendra Swackenberg gets blocked at the line by Westminster for a 3-0 lead to start things off here for the Griffins. Serve to the other side. Bumped. Set up high to the sky. Hard shot's going to go to Stearman, who sees this one bounce off her hands from a kill from number 11, Bella Valdez. So the Skyhawks get on the board first, and their first serve will come here from Haley Christiansen. Lamborn again hits this one way out of play over to the bench for the Skyhawks for the second kill and point on the board for Fort Lewis. Serve once again to the other side. Laurenbauer over to Green, who's a returning player for Westminster, and Sydney Simmons goes up easily and taps it over for the fourth point for Westminster. The Griffins lost Amara Spear, who graduated, also their libero from a season ago in Macon Gallegos, as the service ace will go perfectly for Lamborn, and the fifth point for the Griffins on the board. 5-2 the score. So Lamborn will serve this one away. Looking for a back-to-back aces. She won't get it this time. This one's going to Stearman, the libero this year, who played a couple games last year when Gallegos went down with injuries. Hard spike goes past Stearman. That's going to be a kill for the Skyhawks. Number 13, Maddie LeBlanc, gets the kill. So we welcome you guys to the RMAC Network, live in Salt Lake City, Utah. No matter where you may be listening to us from, we appreciate you guys stopping by and tuning in, as the service ace will go to Addison Hayes for Fort Lewis. Griffins on top by 1, 5-4 the score. Tapped over to Stearman. Stearman's going to see this one go to the scores table and out of play. Couple new faces out there for Westminster, including number 5, Aggie Rose Ace Olenson, who sees this one go up high to Green. Green spikes it for a kill. We talked about Audrey Green returning for Westminster. She had a tough opening 2 days in Dayton, Florida, but came back and became the leading killer in their win against Shaw University with 17 kills in that game to help the Griffins get a 3-0 victory over Shaw in their first win of 2018. Looking for their first win of 2018 at home right now are Westminster, who leads 6-5. They're going to say a penalty against Westminster, and it'll be a point on the board for Fort Lewis. We're all even up 6-6. That one's going to be a service error against the Fort Lewis Skyhawks, and the Griffins are back on there. First time we'll see Whitney Wakefield checking the game for Westminster. Serving this one to the other side for Westminster was Rosen Olsen. And error will go against the Skyhawks once again. The Griffins back on top by 2, 8-6 here in the opening set. Set number 1, match 1 of the day for Westminster and the Skyhawks. This is the second game of tonight. The Griffins will be back later tonight at 7 o'clock. We'll tell you more about that on the broadcast as Green goes up and sees this one hit hard off a few different Skyhawks and had a play in the stands for a point for Westminster. Another kill for Audrey Green. Aggie sends it to the other way. That's dug down deep by Hayes. And the Skyhawks are going to hit the ball way too many times, as you see Bella Valdez knew it. And another point for Westminster, who's on top 10-6. Don't forget you played a 25 in the first 4 sets, and if it goes to basically a sudden death overtime in set 5, you only played a 15. That's going to be an error against Fort Lewis again, and that's going to be a point for West Mini. So Westminster looking good to start here in this home opener here in Salt Lake City. Hayes bumps it up high. Set, tapped over to the other side by Bella Valdez. Back to Wakefield for Westminster, who hits it over to the other side cleanly. Once again going up high, that's Noni Thomas. And a kill will go for Fort Lewis, and that's Bella Valdez. Thomas set it up, and Valdez got it. Serving now, Shirley. Wearing number 19. And sees a 4-point deficit so far here. As this one's going off Stearman's hand. Wakefield goes up high, lefty. Can't get it across the net. So Westminster bringing back a bunch of talent from last year. Stearman's coming back as a junior. You got Lauenbauer, a sophomore. Taylor Harvey, who had a great freshman year last year. Riley Corinne, a senior. Amber Lambert, and senior Audrey Green. Kendra Dekanich and Sydney Simmons, Whitney Wakefield are all returning for Westminster. Along with Brianna Vonter, a senior as well. Checking in for Westminster is Katie Culver. Freshman from Helena, Montana. Green serves it to the other side. Off Hayes. Set up high. This was trying to get over to Wakefield. It does cleanly. Wakefield gets it back. Culver is going to hit this one with authority and add a play. So the Griffins lead now up to 3. As they're going to correct the score. They're going to say it went off the Skyhawks, and it's going to be Westminster point and serve coming their way. So it should, I think we got the scoreboard 12-9 here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. Wakefield goes up and spikes that one hard, but great play by the Skyhawks. Hard shot goes down, diving play by Westminster to keep it alive. Back to Fort Lewis's side. Down and a kill, down and out. Haley Christian Adamson gets the point. As it's 13-9 the score. Hard shot by Culver. That one's blocked off Fort Lewis again, and point for West Mini. Katie Culver gets a kill for Westminster. Stearman, the libero. I remember watching her last year when Gallegos went down with some injuries. She stepped up really well for Westminster. That was going to hit the edge for a point for West Mini, as she gets the service ace. As again, we're going to get a timeout on the floor. Griffins on top, 15-9 inside the Bacon Fieldhouse. We'll be right back after this. 15-9 the score here in set number 1, play to 25. The Griffins are 10 points away from capping off the first of 3 sets to get the match victory overall. Westminster, again, we talk about it, they took both games last year, including one that went 5-set decisions back in Fort Lewis. And then the Griffins won here in Salt Lake City in 4 sets. As again, last year was the final transition year for Westminster, as we are finally officially full members of Division II and are eligible for conference championship play. And national championship as well, as Wakefield goes up, gets spiked off Fort Lewis's hand. That went off Bella Valdez's hand for the 16th point for West Mini. Again, Audrey Green passed the team with 361 kills last year. Taylor Gustafson, Megan Gallegos, Amar Spear all graduated. So Green is the only returner that had, you can say, a big impact on last year's. But you know what? Players like Sydney Simmons right there steps up for Westminster, gets a block, and is ready to step up in place of those players who have now graduated and moved on from the Westminster program. As that one's going to be a service error against Lauren Bauer for West Mini. 17-11 the score. Haley Christiansen sends it over to the other side. That one's going to bounce off a few different Skyhawks and stay on their side. Finally spiked over, and they're going to say service error against Westminster. And it's going to go against number 5, Aggie. It's Christiansen serving once again in the 17-12 game. Down to Culver. Back to Aggie. Aggie to Green. Green spikes that one hard over to Hayes. Hard shot goes back. That one's going up high off the rafters. Back to Stearman. Culver out of play. Culver is wearing number 3. Obviously, that was Amara Spear, who put up some big numbers in her career here at Westminster. Al Givens and probably knows how special number 3 was here. And has confidence Culver's a freshman ability can become a top player here at Westminster College. As a point will go against Westminster, hit the arrow, and at a play, 17-14 the score. Once again, Haley Christiansen sends it to the other side to Stearman. Stearman to Aggie. Aggie to Simmons. Simmons hits it off a few Skyhawks, but they keep it alive. Spike goes back the other way, and did that one stay in play? No, it doesn't. Out of bounds, and point Westminster. Amber Lamborn comes back in to serve once again for Westminster. Dug down deep, set up high. Spiked and blocked at the line for Westminster. Shirley sends it over to the other side, just barely gets over the top of the net as Green smacks it back to the other side for Fort Lewis. Bumped over the head from Swatzenberg, back to Aggie. Aggie to Simmons, who gets blocked, but it's kept alive by Westminster. Green's got on the left side, swings it back over. It's caught cleanly by Fort Lewis. And that's knocked around left and right, finally falls down, and a point goes to Fort Lewis. Maddie LeBlanc with the kill. Lamborn. Aggie. Green. Blocked at the line. Set up high. Spiked off. That's going to be another kill for Fort Lewis, who gets right back into this one. Hayes will serve it away now, the libero. The sophomore from Johnston, Colorado. No players from Utah on their roster. We see a couple players in the RMAC who are from the Rocky Mountain State here in Salt Lake City. As another point goes to Westminster. Al Givens needs a timeout after that. 17-18 the score. Griffins is trying to trend the wrong way. We'll be right back after this. Griffins have had a 5-point lead. It's down to 1 now. Fort Lewis has not led one time as the Griffins are on top, 18-17. Aggie gets blocked to the net, getting it to Simmons. Back over to Green on the left side. Bumped up, set, spiked over to the Griffins side and over to Lauren Bauer. Gets it back to Green. Green spikes it hard and that one goes out of play and we're tied. So Green, just a little bit too much power right there. Just misses it. As we're tied 18-18. Hayes sends it over to Lauren Bauer. Aggie tips it over to the other side. Doesn't fool the Skyhawks one bit. Green again. Spiked hard. That one's going to be set up high perfectly by Christianens. Hard shot's going to go back off the hands of Lamborn. A kill will go to number 19, Shirley. First time the Skyhawks get the lead. First-year head coach Tracy Melfi excited about this matchup against Westminster. When I talked to her before the game, she said it's an interesting matchup. You usually don't get to play your conference opponent during the preseason in an invitational like this, but it's going to be good for both teams involved. Once again, another kill goes in favor for Shirley and Fort Lewis, who gets their biggest lead at 2. Out of play, service error. This is the first game for Fort Lewis on their schedule as well. The Griffins got a little bit more rust off back in Dayton in their 4-game tournament they just had. So Fort Lewis trying to, get all the kinks out in this tournament before the conference play begins. And Fort Lewis is looking good right now with another kill. 21-19 the score. Kendra Swackenberger, I apologize, swings it over there. Tapped up high. Swackenberg swings it up and gets a kill. So all of a sudden, the tide has shifted. Westminster looked to be rolling to begin set 1, and Al Givens is very frustrated on the bench. Losing one set is not how he wanted to, but Green comes away and spikes that one down with power to get the lead down to 2 again. One player that can spark your team is Audrey Green, as she did right there. Griffins down 2. Hard spike goes back to Lamborn. Lamborn up to Aggie. Aggie to Wakefield. No one touched it. Point, Fort Lewis. Timeout Westminster again. Griffins are down by 3, 23-20. Can Al Givens tell his team some motivation to come back and win set 1? We'll find out next on the RMAC Network. Al Givens cannot be happy with the performance here in set 1. Talking with his head coach, Stephanie Jones-Morin, about possibly fixing what they need to be fixed here as they trail by 3. Shirley will serve this one away. Skyhawks. That one's going to bounce off Lamborn and hit the ground for the 24th point for the visiting Skyhawks. These two teams battled it out last year, 4 and 5 sets. We could be in for another long day on the volleyball floor. Shirley going for set 1 victory. And they're going to say it hits the back of the line. The Griffins let it fly. And the Skyhawks come away with the first set victory some way, somehow, as it was all Westminster to start. Al Givens and his staff will switch things up as we'll be back for set 2. Griffins fall 25-20 in set number 1. That's a heartbreaker for Westminster to lose set number 1 the way they did. Had control of the whole first set. Ended up falling 25-20 to Fort Lewis. Set number 2 ready to go. With Bella Valdez serving it to Green. Wakefield spikes that one hard but caught by Fort Lewis. Over to Stearman. To Green. Bumped over easy by Westminster. Lydia Miller, first time we see her for Westminster, checked in. First point goes to the Skyhawks. Valdez again with the serve. Hits the net, service error. Truman State, Lubbock Christian, and Fort Lewis all in town for the Westminster Invitational. Truman State, who got the last victory. Went 17-15 last year before losing the first round of their conference tournament, as Jasmine Brown led the team with 355 kills for Truman State. As for Fort Lewis, they will close out this weekend against MSU Manico, who fell to Truman State earlier, as they're excited for a good weekend here in Salt Lake City. Again, we'll see these two teams back in action later this year, as the Skyhawks are coming off a 9-17 victory, 9-17 record a season ago. And again, with the new head coach, Tracy Melfi, who again I talked to her before, she's excited to lead this program. And she's ready for the challenges here in the RMAC here at Fort Lewis. Stearman spikes it over to the other side off a serve. And that's going to be a kill for Westminster. Lydia Miller gets a kill for the Griffins. (3-2) in favor of Westminster. That one's going to be blocked by Whitney Wakefield for another point for West Mini. Couldn't get it over the net was Shirley, who got blocked. And the Griffins are on top by 2, 4-2 the score. Stearman serves it off the hands of Fort Lewis. Hard spike back to Stearman. And a little tap over the net and a kill once again for Miller. Lydia Miller has sparked this Griffins in set number 2. Great adjustment by Al Givens. As again, a team that went 1-3 in Dayton, Florida, coming off a victory against Shaw. They're looking to get back-to-back wins here in 2018, and Stearman can't keep that one alive. Great hustle play, though, as that would be a kill for the Skyhawks.
Now serving number 1, Addison Hayes.
Addison Hayes back serving again for the Skyhawks from Fort Lewis College. Assistant coach is Brittany Engelbrett. As that one's going to be a hard shot by Westminster. Again, Miller. Shirley blocked at the net, but it lands on Westminster's side. And the lead back down to 1 in favor of Westminster. You see Coach Melfi get up on the official right there near the scores table, making sure she got that point for her team. Miller again. Hits it up high for Fort Lewis to run and go get it near the corner. Hayes has to hit it back to Green. Green to Wakefield, and what a kill! Whitney Wakefield with power hits the middle of the floor with no one there to get the lead up by 2.
Now serving number 4, Jamie Ringbauer.
Bumped, set, spike to the Griffins side, but blocked up at the net by Westminster. That's Sydney Simmons back in the game, and Stearman and Laurenbauer take a collision together.
Now serving number 2, Kendra Swackenberg.
Lindenbauer just misses that one for the point for the Skyhawks. That one's going to hit the top of the net. Stearman goes down low to dig that one out. Simmons goes up high. That one's going to be off the hands of Fort Lewis. Finally gets it over to the other side. This could be a kill for Shirley. That's one sure kill for Shirley. Kendra Swackenberg, the senior from Brighton, Colorado, will serve this one off in a 6-6 contest. Lauenberg over to Miller. Miller gets it by Hayes for the 7th point, and Miller is having a great set too. Givens says, go serve that one away after that. You got to be happy if you're Al Givens with what Miller's bringing to your team here in set number 2 with a 1-point lead. But she just was a step away from that one to get an attempt to get it back to Fort Lewis's side, as a point once again goes to the Skyhawks. Truman State, Fort Lewis College, Lubbock Christian, and Minnesota State University are all here in the Westminster Invitational. This is match 2 of today. We'll have 5 of them. Westminster will be back later tonight at 5 as Audrey Green gets the kill right there. The lineup for today, again, Truman State 1-3, nothing against MSU. Manico, Westminster and Fort Lewis in action right now. After this game, MSU is back on the floor against Lubbock Christian at 2:30 Mountain Time, and then 5 o'clock Fort Lewis will return to this very floor to take on Truman State, who had a very impressive win that gave MSU their first loss of the season. They were 5-0 entering today's action. As the 9th point goes in favor of Westminster, Sydney Simmons will serve it away. The Griffins will close things up tonight at 7 o'clock against Lubbock Christian. We got a great day today and tomorrow. We're excited to be here live on the RMAC Network. We're happy to have you, no matter where you may be listening to us from, as a point goes out of play off Westminster. 9-8 the score. But we're happy to have you, no matter where you may be listening to us from. We appreciate you joining us live here in Salt Lake City, Utah on the RMAC Network. Green goes up high, taps this one over to the net. Fort Lewis is playing great defense, though, and they get another kill right there. Correction, Westminster with a kill. I apologize. They're going to say it was an error against Fort Lewis. Looks like it's going to be against number 13, Maddie LeBlanc, the middle blocker. So the Griffins are on top 10-8. That's Haley Christiansen, sends it over the other way. Green's going to go up, try to get another kill. She'll tap it just inside the line. We'll see the officials point. No, he's going to say they just miss it, and it'll be a point to Fort Lewis, 10-9 the score. That was a late call by the official closest to us here in the broadcast booth. As a point goes to Fort Lewis, 10-9 the score. Wakefield goes up, hammers this one to the other side, but dug out perfectly by the Skyhawks. Christiansen gets it over to Stearman. Stearman just swats it back over with instinct. A little tap goes back to Stearman. Stearman goes low. Aggie to Green. Green sends this one up high. Fort Lewis is battling around. Shirley sends it back over to Stearman. Stearman gets it up to Aggie. Aggie sees the assist not completed because of an aggressive play by Christiansen. Aggie swings it over for a kill for Westminster. Correction, that's Taylor Harvey. Welcome back, Taylor Harvey, for another season, and that's a huge kill for Westminster. Oh, Taylor Harvey feels good to be back. She loved that spike right there, but that was a great hustle play by Haley Christiansen. Set up high. That's over from Haley. Aggie. Wakefield, blocked at the net. Point Fort Lewis. Trying to get some live stats for you. We do apologize if you guys are trying to get the live stats, as we're working to get those to you as quickly as possible. As a point will go to Wakefield for another kill, as Hayes can't come away with a diving attempt. Stearman will come away and serve this one here in set number 2. Griffins fell in the first set. And again, here in the Invitational, there's no half times. I believe they just keep playing. So usually there's a 10-minute break after set number 2. If I'm right, there won't be one in this game. I don't believe there was one last game. So in the Invitational, try to keep things moving quickly as possible. Over to Stearman. Wakefield finds the middle of the floor for a kill. So Westminster started like this last set and then kind of crumbled towards the end. Fort Lewis found their second win to say. Can the Griffins keep their foot on the pedal here in set 2 and not allow the Skyhawks to come back? As the Griffins are up 3. Shirley blocked, but in the Griffins area for a point for Fort Lewis. Hayes once again will serve this one away, the young sophomore. Hits out of bounds for a point for Westminster. Ray and Bauer will come and serve for Westminster in a 14-11 contest in favor of the home team. Hosting the Invitational for the third straight year. Hard shot and a kill from Miller. Lydia Miller. The Skyhawks have no answer for Miller, and they're going to try to adjust right here with this timeout. We'll take a timeout with them. We're live on the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Network in Salt Lake City, Utah. Lydia Miller has came out strong for Westminster here in the second set of action, as the Griffins have 8 kills here in set number 2 and 15 total points, I apologize, as they lead 15-11. Stearman, you see this one go up to Green. Green looking for another kill. She won't get it this time. Tapped up and in play, and she'll actually get the kill because of an awkward turnaround by Fort Lewis. So some quick news and notes in the first 2 sets of actions. 23 digs have been in favor of Fort Lewis, 18 for Westminster. As another point goes in favor of the Griffins, 17-11 the score. Griffins have 13 assists as Fort Lewis has 17 so far. Total blocks, 3 in favor of Westminster to 2 for Fort Lewis. As another point for Westminster, they're starting to find their edge right here. Bumped, set, spiked from Shirley to Lauren Bauer. Miller sees this one go to Christiansen. Little tap over to Simmons. Miller again, blocked at the net by Fort Lewis to keep it alive for a short time. Griffins try to block it away, and they do. This is the team we saw in set number 1 for Westminster, but Fort Lewis adjusted really well. But here in set 2, it's been all Westminster, leading 19-11, looking to tie up the sets at 1-1. Green dives for that one. Miller over to Hayes. Hayes to Valdez. And that'll be Shirley hitting the net for the 20th point for Westminster, who's got the mojo going. Al Gibbons saying, hey, adjust here a little bit, Lydia. Watch the back end, it's open. And the adjustment works over the Green. Green spikes this one hard off Fort Lewis. Shirley again on the left side, goes to Stearman. Stearman to Aggie. Over to Miller. Miller sees this one go high out to Christiansen. Shirley spiked it, out of play. Did the Griffins touch it? No, they didn't. Point Westminster. 21-11, the Griffins are cruising. They're set on cruise control right now, trying to cruise to a victory here in set 2. And that one's kept alive by Stearman. And a point for Westminster. What a play. Aggie, Lois Olsen gets the kill, but it was all Stearman diving, putting her hand on the floor, and the ball hit just the right spot for the 22nd point. The Griffins are double the Skyhawks here in set 2. Spiked over to Westminster side to Miller again. Miller sees this one almost killed, but Shirley Thought she had it, but the official says, no, you didn't. 23rd point. Kilda Miller. 2 more points to tie this up at 1-1. Al Givens is probably very disappointed because he knows his team might have gave away set 1 to the Skyhawks. That was going to bounce off green and out of play for a point for Fort Lewis. That's Bella Valdez with the kill. Stearman digs it out cleanly over to Miller, but they're going to say there'll be an error against Fort Lewis at the net. It's a smile from Tracy Melfi, the head coach, after that one. Set point right here. Fans in the stands are standing. Lamborn looking to get the set victory. Hayes says, I got it, bumps it back the other way. Green just misses that one out of play. Point Fort Lewis, 24 for Westminster, 1 point away from victory, 24-13. Looking to get the set victory here. Head coach Al Givens and assistant coach Stephanie Jones talking about what needs to be fixed for set 3, and we'll take another break. 3-minute timeout here as they switch sides. Griffins and Skyhawks are even at 1-1 here on the RMAC Network. Set 3 getting ready to serve off here. Griffins come roaring back, 25-13 in set number 2 to get the victory. as we're tied 1-1. Leaders so far, Audrey Green leads the way for Westminster with 5 kills. Whitney Wakefield 4.5. Lydia Miller had a fantastic set, too, with 4 kills, and Sydney Simmons at 3.5. On the other side, though, it's been all Shirley. Shirley with 10 kills in the first 2 sets. Bailey Longacre, 5.5. Haley Christiansen with 3.5, alongside with Maddie LeBlanc. Those are the hitters with kills. Points so far, I should say. Leading kills, Green 5, Lydia Miller 4, Whitney Wakefield 4. Shirley with 8 kills on the other side, Bailey Longacre with 5. Bella Valdez hitting 429 alongside with her 2 other teammates, Christiansen and LeBlanc, are all the same. On the other side, Aggie Rosen Olsen hitting 500 for Westminster as we've started set 3 here inside the Bacon Fieldhouse. Green spikes it cleanly for the first kill of set 3, perfectly executed by Miss Green. Once again, the Skyhawks last year were 9-17 overall. Entering new season with head coach Tracy Melfi. Bailey Longacre is back after leading the team with 223 kills and 88 blocks in 96 sets played, as it's a 2-0 lead for Westminster. Maddie LeBlanc, the senior, adds the second best in 222 kills last season and was 3rd on the team in blocks with 69. As senior Swackenberg dished out a team high 865 assists last year as back as well. So they've got some firepower coming back as the Griffins start off fast and furious 3-0 here in set number 3. That was going to hit off Westminster. That's going to be a tough blow for Kendra Dekinich. The first time we say her name tonight in the 3-1 contest in set number 3. Tapped over by Harvey. Can't get the kill, I should say, as it's back to Stearman. Green spikes it off the hand of Fort Lewis and out of play for another kill for Audrey Green. All the teams entering the Westminster Classic are coming off great weekend before this. Tremont State had a strong start to the season as they went 3-1 in Warrenburg, Missouri, picking up a pair of wins over nationally ranked Florida Southern, ranked 4th, and Arkansas Tech, ranked 14th. Lubbock Christian, they traveled out to Canyon, Texas, where they went 2-2 with victories over Emporia State and Eastern New Mexico. As Minnesota State, before losing today in the first match here in the Westminster Invitational, they went 4-0, victories against Kentucky State and Bondoro, Ohio Dominican, and Southern Indiana. So we got some good competition here. Fort Lewis is the only team that hasn't played a game. They had an exhibition game, but it wasn't on their record, as that's going to be a error against Green for Westminster in a 6-2 contest. Griffins are starting so fast here in set 2. I think they realize they gave Fort Lewis that first set because the Griffins were cruising in that one as well. But don't count out the Skyhawks just yet if you're a Westminster fan. Hard shot's going to go over to the Fort Lewis side. Tapped over, back to Aggie. Dekinich hits this one out of play. And by the way, Fort Lewis just switched up their libero. It's number 3 now, Christina Valdez. She replaces number 1, Addison Hayes, for the moment, as she sends it over the other way easily. Hard shot. Griffins did not touch that. They did, they said. That'll be a point for the Skyhawks in a 6-4 contest now. Also, it's been exactly 1 year on this day ago that Westminster had their Westminster Invitational, and they took on Lubbock Christian, as that's the only meeting these two have had together. A little tap over from Westminster will get over from Miller. We'll tell you more about Lubbock Christian here in a second. Stearman dives to keep that one alive for Westminster. Green kind of fooled Fort Lewis defense for a moment, saying, where do we go? Stearman gets it back. Dekinich finds the middle and gets the kill. as these two teams are very used to seeing one another in the RMAC over the past 3 years. This year's a little bit differently, as everyone knows. The Griffins are finally D2 official, as they were in a transition period, just being basically accepted into the RMAC in D2. Coming from the Frontier contract, the NAIA League, and their fellow Utah, Dixie State, will now be in the same transition Westminster was in the last 3 years as they entered the RMAC conference. As you can see, their pitcher is above the stands here in the Bacon Fieldhouse now. Green dives, can't keep it alive. 6 point goes in favor of the Skyhawks. Also, head coach Al Givens. His record at Westminster is 31-77 since being named the head coach. First year of volleyball here at Westminster was back in 1995. And the Griffins have always been very good at home. Even under Al Givens, that's where he's had a great success here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. But overall in volleyball's history, the Griffins are 78-66, so over 500, as the 7th point ties it up here for the Skyhawks. The Griffins started hot, 6 straight points, and now have cooled off. Only 1 point since then. Harvey swings it over to Westminster. Tapped up high, that's going to be off Westminster, and the Skyhawks get another point. 8-7 now. Skyhawks are now cruising in set number 3. Sent over to the other side from Swackenberg. Hard shot, and that one's going to be a kill for Westminster. Sydney Simmons strikes it perfectly off the Fort Lewis side of things. First time we see Katie Jaycox step in. She'll serve this one away, number 8 for Westminster, as in an 8-8 contest. How fitting is that? Blocked off Miller's side, and at a play, point goes to the Skyhawks. Shirley's having a great day, the junior from Kenton, Arizona, and also was at Northern Arizona for some time. She's made her way here to Fort Lewis. And now here in the Westminster Invitational, here in the Bacon Fieldhouse in Salt Lake City, Utah. Block, Stearman goes down and keeps it alive. Miller hits it off a few different Skyhawks. They somehow, some way keep it alive and get it back over to Simmons. And that one was spiked down by Olsen. Back to Olsen. Olsen to Simmons, who gets another one. 9-9 the score. That's 9-9 here in Salt Lake City. As we have no soccer action this weekend here in Westminster, but the men's soccer team did get their first win of 2018 last night, as they were out in Idaho, Nampa, Idaho, as they'll be there tomorrow for another game. Olsen, Green, spikes it right down, and the Griffins are back on top by 1. Audrey Green, who is a sophomore this year, had a stellar season a year ago in her freshman showcase. She wants to climb up this leaderboard, where the record for most kills in the season is 515, held by Angie Johnson. She's alone in the top 3 in team history for kills per season. She also has the record for most kills in Westminster team history with 1,497, 3 away from 1,500. That's a record that's probably going to sit alone for a while, because last year Amara Spear came the closest since the record was founded, as she passed 1,000 kills for 3rd all time. So it's a record that Angie Johnson might have for some time. But I'm going to tell you, Audrey Green, she has some time And she has an opportunity to do that as she gets nearly another kill right there. Kept alive. Green goes back up, spikes it to the middle of the floor, kept alive by Fort Lewis. Hard spike goes over and killed by Bailey Longacre. And the Skyhawks now lead by 2. 10-12. Longacre will serve this one away. And out of play. Point Westminster.
Now serving number 16, Sydney Simmons.
Again, we're in set 3. We're live in the RMAC Network. We thank you guys for stopping by and tuning in. Whether you're watching us on the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Network or on our YouTube channel for Griffins TV. As we're tied 12-12, back-to-back points go in favor of Westminster. Simmons serves it the other way. Hard shot again out of play. That's off Jesse Rowe Kamoa. Has 3 straight points for the Griffins. Gets the lead back up to 1. They were up 6-0. And the Skyhawks just found a way to come back and get the lead as their largest lead is 2 as we're tied again at 13. Bella Valdez again serving for the Skyhawks. Hard shot to Stearman. Stearman keeps it alive. Over to Olsen. Olsen to Green. Off the hands and out of play of Bailey Valdez, and the Griffins are back on top. Again, if the Griffins can find a way to win set 3, and we're still a long ways away, still 11 points and only a 1-point lead for Westminster. Again, there's a question that will be asked after tonight's game. Could the Griffins have won this in 3 sets? But credit to Skyhawks for keeping everything alive, because the Griffins just cruised through set number 2. The Skyhawks have adjusted really well as we're tied 14-14 off an error against Westminster. Christiansen back again, serving it away for Fort Lewis. Olsen to Green. Into the middle of the plate. Hard spike, be killed by Maddie LeBlanc. And we're just going back and forth here in the RMAC Network. 1-point lead. We're going 1-point lead, tied, 1-point lead. Switching back and forth. We'll see if it'll switch when we come back after a timeout from Al Givens on the RMAC Network.
Timeout, Westminster.
14-15 the score in set 3. We're tied 1-1 after 2 sets of action. As the Griffins are looking to come away with set 3 victory, but the Skyhawks have other plans right now, leading by 1. Serve over from Haley. Green hits the net. Error against the Griffins. So 2-point lead now in favor of the Skyhawks. An RMAC foe, who the Griffins are, who won the last 2 games last year. in sets 4 and 5, looking to continue the winning ways against the Skyhawks tonight. Green hits this one over. Great defense by the Skyhawks. That one's going to be a little bit hit hard from LeBlanc and out of play. That was actually a correction. Oh, yes, Shirley. As you can see, Lobach entering. The first time today, we'll see them up next in action, as they'll be on the RMAC network. The game will be streamed live. No play-by-play, though. We do apologize for that. But they'll be taking on the team that fell to Trumont State in 3 sets, MSU. Griffins down 1, 16-15. Wakefield sends it over to the side. Great play by Bella Valdez. Shirley blocked off Westminster and out of play for a kill for her own. 17-15 now in favor of the Skyhawks.
Now serving number 3, Christiane
Valdez serves this one over to Stearman. Stearman nearly had an awkward bounce there. She somehow gets it over to Miller. Miller back to Stearman. Stearman gets it up to Olsen. Olsen to Miller, who spikes and kills it. And again, Miller, she has been the X factor for Westminster.
Serving number 2, Hannah Stearman.
Stearman will serve this one away. Stearman can't come away to keep that one alive as the Skyhawks get their 2-point lead back once again.
Serving number 2, Petra Slackenberg.
Green, Olsen, Wakefield can't keep it alive, and there'll be too many hits to get it across the board. And 19-16 now in favor of the Skyhawks. Skyhawks are looking to get a victory here, their first win of 2018. Hard shot from Miller, and she had some power on that one. She meant business on that spike. At 17-19 now, the score. With the sets even at 1-1, Westminster needs a point right here from Culver. And she'll get it. The service ace executed perfectly. As a correction, that's Katie Jaycox, I should say, number 8. Griffins looking to tie it up right here. Shirley to Valdez. Hard shot from Christiansen. Over to Miller. Hits it up to Shirley. Bella Valdez sends it over to Olsen. Olsen to Stearman. Stearman gets it up to Miller. Miller on the left side spikes it hard to Valdez. Somehow keeps it alive. Valdez gets it all the way back to Green, who's back at the end. Olsen. Miller hits it over. Set up cleanly. Shirley goes up high. She swats it, and the Griffins touch it. They do, and out of play. So a point goes to Fort Lewis. 2-point lead back in their favor again. 20-18. We got a good one here in set 3. Shirley to serve this one to the Griffin side. And she's going to put a little bit too much power on that one and out of play.
Serving number 14, Lydia Miller.
Amber Lamborn comes right back into the game, looking to bring some energy to Westminster. Miller takes a quick break. It looks like she's kind of just fatigued a little bit. She's played a lot since set 2. Jacox over to Green. Green finds a way to get the kill, and we're tied again, 20-20. It's like a lot of people's vision. It's back to 20-20 here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. They can see that just fine as we'll take a timeout. Griffins looking to come away with a set 3 victory. Next on the RMAC Network. Griffins will be back tonight at 7 p.m. first serve against Lubbock Christian Chaps. And then we'll have 2 games tomorrow with Tremont State at noon and 7 o'clock against MSU. The Mavericks. All games are broadcasted live on the RMAC network. And we hope you guys are enjoying today's action here in Salt Lake City. Griffins and Skyhawks even at 20-20 here in the Bacon Fieldhouse on the campus of Westminster College. Hard shot blocked by Simmons and Green for a kill. And the excitement is boiling over for the 3rd straight point for Westminster. Once again, Audrey Green, she led the way with 44 kills over the weekend in Dayton, Florida. 14 kills in their victory over Shaw. Looking to do some damage here today. Christiansen sends it over to Stearman. Stearman to Olsen. Olsen to Simmons. Simmons taps it over lightly, but it's back over to Christiansen. And she hits the net for a service error. Little frustration there, just kind of bumps the ball back to the Griffin side as they're down by 2. This Fort Lewis Skyhawks, that is. The Griffins were voted to finish 11th in the RMAC, with Regis being tabbed to finish 1st with 15 points. Timeout on the floor. Griffins on top by 2, looking to capture set 3 in Salt Lake City. Three more points to victory for Westminster. Amber Lamborn still serving for West Mini as she's got the ball in her possession right now. Valdez sees this one go to Hayes. Correction, that was Swackenberg that swung that over. Green taps it off Swackenberg. Back over to Christiansen. Set off the hands of Cox, who just misses that opportunity, and the Fort Lewis Skyhawks are back in it just like that, as the Griffins could have controlled this final few points. Instead, Longacre will serve this one away to get the lead tied back for Fort Lewis. Olsen, Green, spikes it and a kill. That's how you get the momentum back on your side. Audrey Green does it again. Stearman checks out for a moment as Simmons checks in to try to close this one off. Shirley. Hard shot, and that's going to be a kill for number 13, Maddie LeBlanc. So the Griffins and Skyhawks, so we got a battle here in set 3. One team's going to go up one set, heading to the 4th. One team's going to have to find a way to win 2 to win the match. Match 2, that is. Green taps it and gets the point and the kill. So now the Griffins can win the set right here. Set point. The fans are on their feet in the Bacon Fieldhouse. With number 5, Aggie, Royce, Olsen to Shirley. To Bella Valdez. Hard shot goes over from Swackenberg. Back to Olsen. Green for the point and kill. Can't get it. Christiansen sees that one right at the line for a point. What a kill. Griffins need a point to win the set still. Christiansen looking to extend set 3. And the Griffins say it was touched, and they won't get the point though, and we're tied 24-24. And we couldn't see the monitor here if it was touched or not. So now you got to win by 2. Green spikes it, gets the kill, and the Griffins need one more again. 25-24. You got to win by 2. Of course, great PA work by the assistant coach, the men's basketball team, Coach Landon. Doing some good work down there. Here in set 3. Green. Over to the Fort Lewis side. Shirley gets blocked and out of play off Westminster, though, and we're still tied. 25-25. Coach Norm Parrish for the men's basketball team is here watching the action. Obviously supporting the athletics here at Westminster, supporting the women's volleyball team. That's a little tap goes over for Miller. Wakefield's right there to tap in. She'll get the kill. Here we go again. Griffins need one more point to finish off the set. Oh, you can see head coach Melfi, Coach Melfi, trying to adjust in this final potential set point for Westminster. Hard shot, we're tied again. The Griffins cannot close it out in set 3. Will it haunt them going forward? They've had opportunity after opportunity to close it out, and we're tied again. Fort Lewis still hasn't had an opportunity to close it out yet. But the Griffins have another one right here with the kill for Miller. Jacox checks in to serve this one away. So Jacox on the serve. Fort Lewis spiked it over to the side, and we're tied. Number 11, Bella Valdez with the kill. Number 19, Shirley, served this one away. Again, Fort Lewis has, every time they've tied it up, they haven't been able to take a lead. And they just did right there with an awkward bounce off the net. Green will check out as we'll come in for defense here. Is Lauren Bauer for the set victory. The serve from Shirley and the Skyhawks. Lauren Bauer to Olsen. Olsen to Miller. Kept alive by Christiansen. Spikes it over to Stearman. Stearman to Olsen. Olsen to Simmons. And the Skyhawks take set 3. Just like that, the Griffins find themselves down 2-1 heading to set 4. We'll be back with the action right after this live on the RMAC Network.
Pepsi, the official beverage provider of Westminster College Athletics. Pepsi, change the game. Hotel RL by Red Lion, located in downtown Salt Lake City. An official lodging partner of Westminster Athletics. A great location in the heart of the city.
Audrey Green.
Tied 1-1 here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. Griffins trail 2-1. Hard shot's going to land in play for a kill for the Skyhawks. As the Griffins trail 3-1 now here in set 4. Reminder, if we do end up going to set number 5, it only played to 15. So Skyhawks looking to get revenge from last year. Winning and losing in 4 and 5 sets a season ago against Westminster. As the leaders, Audrey Green with 16.5 points. Shirley still leads the way for the Skyhawks in a 4-2 contest here.
Serving number 1, Addison Hayes.
Stearman up to Olsen. Olsen gets it over to Culver. Tapped down and killed by Simmons for a point for Westminster. Westminster looking good. Looking to get back the momentum they had in set 2. In set 2, the Griffins cruised to victory, and everyone might have been saying, hey, the Griffins are going to come out and just win this in 4 sets. But after battling back and forth in set number 3, losing 29-27, now the Griffins find themselves possibly losing the first match of today. Stearman with a great play, though. Green spikes it down low, caught by Christiansen. Over the head, back to Olsen. Olsen to Stearman. Stearman gets it over to Miller. Miller gets it back to Christiansen. Topton hit down cleanly to the other side from Shirley. Shirley tapped it around for Fort Lewis. Valdez over to Christiansen for a kill. That was actually Bailey Longacre. We apologize for that. So she'll get the kill on the plate. As the attack error will actually be in favor for the Skyhawks. Simmons blocked and spiked on the other end for a point for Westminster. Tonight, the Griffins will play Lubbock Christian. And last year, those two teams played off in the Labor Day tournament as Lubbock got the best of Westminster, winning in 3 sets, and the Griffins will look to get revenge tonight at 7 o'clock. Green spikes it over to Christiansen. Over to Shirley. Shirley gets blocked to the net and out of play off Westminster for another point for the Skyhawks in a 6-4 contest. So we do apologize about the scoreboard on our screen. We'll get that fixed for the rest of the tournament. It's a little bit of a scoreboard error that will get fixed, and we apologize for that. We'll keep the score live and updating for you right here on the RMAC Network, though. Griffins trail by 2, 6-4 with Green, spiking it over to Christiansen, who gets it back and gets a kill. She gets it back from her teammate and spikes it at the back end for a point. as my voice is starting to go. It's only one game. Again, go get some rest. Be back here for 7 o'clock action. Hard shot over the net. Over to Simmons. Simmons will get the kill for Westminster, the point. In the 7-5 contest. Stearman takes a seat out. Simmons will serve this one away for Westminster. Over to Valdez. Valdez gets it right back over to Green, who hits that one hard off the leg of Bella Valdez. And these volleyball athletes sure have to be aware at all times, their head on a swivel, because that ball, when it's coming fast towards you, it's not a pretty thing to get hit by. Green taps it over cleanly. Christiansen hits the top of the net over to Jay Cox. A little tap fake set from Swackenberger for a kill. Looked to set that one up high and didn't do it. She faked the Griffins out for the 8th point. Jacox over to Green. Green finds this one down low and at a playoff. Number 2, Swackenberg, for a point for Westminster, who trailed by 1. Bumped, set, spike to the other side for Westminster over to Stearman. Stearman to Green. Green taps it over cleanly, but the Fort Lewis Skyhawks keep it alive on their end. Hard shot, back over to Shirley. Christiansen to Stearman. Hard shot and nearly a kill, and it will be a kill finally as it hits the ground for Westminster. That's Colivert, who will get the kill for West Mini. So we're tied 8-8 in set number 4. Griffins looking to send this a 5th set. Green. We'll see this one bounce around back to her teammate, and Audrey Green will get another opportunity, and she will, as that ball is going to hit the cheek of number 2, Swackenberg, Kendra Swackenberg. As again, Lubbock Christian up next. They're called the Chaps from Lubbock Christian University out in Texas. They'll be led by head coach Jennifer Lawrence, who's got her team in the stands watching this game, as the Griffins will take on the team in the dark blue uniforms later tonight, as we're tied 9-9. Bella Valdez getting ready to serve this one to the other side. And if this game goes to a 5th set, it potentially could push back the start time of our next game coming up next here on the RMAC Network with MSU Monaco and the team we've been talking about, Lubbock Christian University. As that game was supposed to start at the top of the hour. And that was going to hit off the hand of Shirley for a point for Westminster. (11-9) the score. Audrey Green with the serve again. To Valdez. Valdez over to Bella Valdez. Hit the top of the net and a kill will go to Christiansen. And she goes, hey, why not? She just hit that ball over and hoped for magic, and she got it. She put the correct spell in to hit that one right off the top of the net and land perfectly to get the lead down to 1 for the Skyhawks. Miller tried to spike that one off high, can do it. Shirley gets blocked to the net by Westminster. Christiansen sends it back over to Green. Green to Culver, who gets a kill for Westminster. Stearman hit the line, and that should be a point for Westminster, and it is. 13-10 the score. Stearman again, sends it to the other side. Green digs it out. Miller spikes it hard, and a little bit too much mustard on that one out of play. Of course, Shea White, the athletic director here for Westminster. He's enjoying this Westminster Invitational today. Culver sends it over to the other side. The Griffins are on top by 2. Shirley sends that one out. Griffins on top by 3 now, 14-11. Skyhawks, they can capture off the victory in this set. Wakefield checks in. Also checking in is Chicox. That's going to be a point for Westminster. That was knocked out of play off number 19, Shirley. So largest lead of set 4 is 4 points. Bumped, set, spike to the Griffins side to Stearman. Wakefield gets it, she spikes it, and that one's going to be dug out, but it's going to hit the floor first. So the Griffins trying to get rolling here, 16-11 the score. Timeout, Fort Lewis. We'll take a timeout with them live in the RMAC Network. We'll be back with the rest of set 4 action from Salt Lake.
The Fairfield and Suites by Marriott, an official lodging partner of Westminster Athletics. The Fairfield and Suites, ideal for travelers. Sportsman Utah, the official sports medicine provider of Westminster College, providing services to many professional, high school, youth sport, and community organizations. Sportsman Utah, proud supporter of Westminster Athletics.
Welcome back inside the Bacon Field House. We're live on the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference Network. We got a Rocky Mountain Athletic Showdown that won't count towards the record. It's like an exhibition practice game between these two that will count on their regular season records. But again, these two teams will play each other later this year. And that was going to be dug out somehow, some way. The Griffins get a point. Katie Jacox. Right place at the right time. The Griffins are on top by 6. She'll serve it over once again. To the other side, Fort Lewis, where Shirley sends this one to Green. Green over to Cox. Hard shot for Miller, and that's going to be a point for Westminster off the hands of Fort Lewis. That was off Bella Valdez, and the Griffins starting to get their mojo back. It's almost like they lost it in the last set because the opportunities they had to win that set and potentially have this one be their chance to close off a Game 1 victory. Instead, they had to fight their way back from last set defeat and hopefully get a win in set 4 to have an opportunity in sudden death, if I can talk, I apologize, sudden death action in set 5. Miller sees this one go off high up in the rafters, going to hit a couple basketball hoops and get back into play to Valdez. Valdez over to Green. Green to Simmons, who spikes that one cleanly. That one's going to go off the hands of another Valdez for the visiting team from Fort Lewis. Wakefield sends this one to the other side. Bella Valdez will get the kill this time. So with Christiane Valdez, Bella Valdez, those are the two Valdez players that they have on Fort Lewis. And this one's going to be sent over from Swackenberg. Simmons finds the right spot and locates it perfectly. Target point was there. Hit the back of the floor inside the box. 19-13 the score. Shirley. Blocked up the net by Westminster. Stearman gets it over to Wakefield. Wakefield, she's going to be blocked. And that's going to be a great block by Shirley for a point for the Skyhawks, who now trail by 5. Shirley getting ready to send this one the other way. Griffins up by 5, and that was going to be sent packing for the 20th point for Westminster. So a service error will give the ball to Sydney Simmons for Westminster. Down low to Chris Jansen. She goes up high to the sky to get it over to Westminster's side, where Green's waiting for it, and she executes the play perfectly. 4 more points to send this one to 5th set. The 5th and final set that would be between these two teams. And a timeout on the floor. Griffins on top by 7 here in Salt Lake City. Can the Griffins extend this game to a 5th set? Or will the Skyhawks come firing back as they did in set 1 and 3 to close off this game between two Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference teams in Salt Lake City? Griffins on top 21-14. Hard shot at a play off Jacox, and a point goes to the Skyhawks. Griffins 21-15 now. Wakefield spikes it, killed, perfectly executed once again for West Mini. (22-15). It's been a long morning so far in Salt Lake City, as we've still got plenty of games left to be played here tonight. 3 more games on the schedule here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. 1 more for Westminster tonight at 7. Hard shot off the front 3 of Westminster, where Stearman says, "Green, spike it away," and she does. Green gets that little howl like, "Ow!" as she spiked that one cleanly for another point. Griffins 2 points away from sending this to set 5. Skyhawks need some momentum some way, somehow, if they want to win this match in 4 sets. Feels good. Tomorrow's the official date that the Westminster Griffins are officially a member of D2, as that's when everything begins for the Westminster Griffins. As Division 2, how sweet does that sound? This is a program that's been building year after year, and to see how far this program has come just in the last 3 years of being a member of the RMAC, you can see how much success they have, and the Griffins don't want to see this fall apart. As Al Givens says, I'll take a timeout. 23-18 the score inside the Bacon Fieldhouse. We'll be right back after this. Can the Griffins close this off and head to a 5th set, or are the Skyhawks going to come back and ruin the Griffins' home opener as they trail 23-18? Now the Griffins only 1 point away from sending this to a set 5. As Audrey Green will serve this one away on set point. And again, if the Griffins end up winning this game, remember we played a 15-2 in set 5. And that's how we'll do it. We're heading to 5 sets here in Salt Lake City. Just like a year ago, the Griffins in Fort Lewis fought hard in 4 and 5 sets. And the Griffins are looking to win it yet again in a set 5 thriller in Salt Lake City. Here we go, set 5 here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. Can the Griffins find a way to knock off the Skyhawks, who have just been hanging around with the Westminster Griffins in the first 4 sets? I mean, again, you look at the way the 4 sets have gone as we're tied 2-2 in the 5th set. Griffins lost 25-20 in the first one. Won set 2, 25-13. Lost 29-27 and 25-18. So Griffins playing to 15 now. Green hits this one off a Skyhawk and out of play for the first point of set 5. So can the Griffins be the first team to 15 here in set 5? As Olsen will ship this one to the other side. Hard shot blocked. We're tied 1-1. It was blocked out of play to even it up. Tremont State won the first match 3-0. Westminster, Fort Lewis are tied here in match 2. 2-2 in set 5. Green goes up, hits it hard, and gets another kill. This could be Audrey Green's time to shine in set 5. The Griffins are going to have to call on her a lot down the stretch in close games. And I know she's just a sophomore, but there's a chance she could be grooming into a leader before our eyes. It's too many taps, and that's not going to get over. 3-1 the score. Next game scheduled for 2:30. Coming up here on the RMAC Network. Due to this game going 5, it may be pushed back possibly to 2:45. So we'll just keep in mind of the RMAC Network stream of when your team is supposed to be playing. Blocked again, and Griffins get a point. How about that? Number 3, Katie Culliver, the freshman, making her name for herself here in the Westminster Invitational in day 1, game 1. Green, 4-1 serve. Ball in her possession. Down to the other side, Christiansen. That was going to be tapped around. That was a great play by Shirley, but it's kept alive by Westminster. Hard shot from Miller, and a little tap back and forth from the Griffins and Skyhawks. Can't keep this one alive. The Skyhawks will get a point from Shirley, who blocks it. And a 4-2 the score. Stearman over to Miller. Miller can't get a kill here. Christiansen will send it back over to Harvey. Hard shot blocked and out of play, but it'll be a point for Westminster. Kill will go to Culliver. Again, the freshman. 10 points away now from victory for Westminster. That goes down low. Great play by Valdez. As that one's going to bounce off Westminster for a point for the Skyhawks. And this is just back-to-back. Kill after kill, play after play by each team. As no team has really grabbed this game and took it in control for themselves. As Westminster's trying to do that now. 6-3 the score. Again, and then this is day 1 of 2. Westminster plays tonight at 7, and then we'll be back again 12 o'clock against Tremont State tomorrow. Set, spiked hard, over to Stearman. Stearman keeps it alive to Simmons. Simmons over to Miller. Miller keeps it alive where it's tapped over. Stearman dives it to keep it alive for Westminster, where Wakefield spikes it hard off Valdez. And we have an injured player for the Skyhawks. That's something you don't want to see in an invitational. And that's number 8, Bailey Longacre, the junior, who is coming off a fantastic year last year. And it looks like it might be her ankle. And that's a huge blow for head coach Tracy Melfi and the rest of this Fort Lewis team. As there's a chance she might not be playing in the next game at 5 o'clock. The officials are getting everything set in stone. As that will be basically a tie-up jump ball. Griffins will maintain possession. 6-3 the score. That one goes to Valdez. And a hard shot. Did that one stay in play? And it did it. That stayed in play for a kill for the Skyhawks. Once again, Shirley, who's having an outstanding game today with her 23rd and a half points of action and 19th kill. Stearman gets it over to Miller. Miller sees this one go up high off Valdez, and it'll be a point as an error goes against West Mini. Shirley with the serve, 6-5. Hits the top of the net. Stearman was down low perfectly to dig that one out. Simmons taps it over cleanly. And Christiansen keeps it alive, and that one's going to be off the hands of Westminster, and the Griffins see another tie game. Green takes a seat. Lamborn will check in. Shirley once again serves it. That one's to Lamborn. Over to Jacox. Miller taps it over to the left side and gets a kill. Hustling to get that one was Bella Valdez. Couldn't keep it alive for the Skyhawks. Served over for Westminster. Shirley to Christiansen. Back in front to Green. Green sends it over to the other side where Shirley's right in the middle of the play. Christiansen once again gets blocked at the net by Simmons. Back to Jacox. Stearman has to hit this one hard and far, and she does cleanly. Christiansen blocked at the net. Simmons gets it right back to Green. Green spikes it over to the left side. No one's home for a point for Westminster. And with that, the teams will switch sides, 8-6 to score. As Al Givens didn't like the way his team went under the net there. He said, go around it. As you have to go back and go around the sides, around the officials when you switch sides. Here comes the Griffins, 8-6. Bumped, set, spiked from Valdez, over to Stearman. Stearman to Jacox. Wakefield into the middle of the field, killed and gets it for Westminster. Whitney Wakefield, that's going to be her 9th kill of the game. Timeout here, Griffins 6 points from victory. We'll be back right after this. 5 points for victory for the Westminster Griffins. Can they close off their first win at home? Right here, right now, in match 2 of the Westminster Invitational against a RMAC foe in Fort Lewis. Serve goes down over to the other side to Shirley. Hard shot's going to go back to Westminster as Green taps it, and she will get the kill. Couple bad bounces go against Fort Lewis right there, and Westminster gets the point. Bumped, set, Christiansen gets blocked at the net. Another time blocked and out of play, this time against Wakefield. 10-7 now the score. Serving it is Noni Thompson. Gets it over to Westminster side. Green again, hits it off a few Fort Lewis players before it finally gets back to her own side, where Jacox sends it over to the other side, tried to get a kill, couldn't do it. Christiansen once again to Stearman. Green spikes it to the back end. Christiansen on the left side, blocked it out of play once more by Wakefield. Back-to-back blocks by Wakefield, but out of bounds. Al Givens saying, don't hit it that way, hit it straight ahead. Tapped by Simmons, and down it goes. 11th point for Westminster. Again, coming from the Frontier Conference into the RMAC Conference officially last year, and D2 eligible. Tomorrow official. It's a great time to be a Griffin. And they would love to start this invitational with the W. 4 points away from making that happen. Blocked. Point, Wakefield. Riley Corinne got the serve right there. Griffins 3 points away from victory in Salt Lake City. You see the schedule on your screen. Fort Lewis, Westminster in action now. MSU and Mexico up next against Lubbock Christian. Fort Lewis and Tremont State. And then Westminster ends the night off against Lubbock Christian at 7 p.m. But right now the Griffins are 3 points away from victory here in the Bacon Fieldhouse. Corinne getting ready to serve this one off. That one's going to hit hard. Up high in the sky. Wakefield's going to try to block it again. This time they're going to send it over her, and it's going to be a point for the Skyhawks. 12-9 the score. Stearman checks back in for Sydney Simmons. Bella Valdez will serve this one away for Fort Lewis. And Audrey Green on the left side gets blocked to the net. Wakefield comes in and helps him get it. She goes up high again. Wakefield does. Bounces off not one, not two, not three, but four different Skyhawks. And that was out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say it's Westminster. They're going to say Fort Lewis got the point, and that was very interesting. I don't know about that one. I think Al Givens has a gripe And I hope that doesn't come back to haunt Westminster, who leads by 2. Wakefield spiked it hard. She says, you want to take my point away? I'll get it right back. 13-10 the score. Westminster sends it off the other way from Olsen. Hard shot goes down to Westminster in the back end. Bumped around from Fort Lewis in front of their net. Blocked by Green, and the Griffins are 1 point away from a 5-set victory. Can the Griffins close it off right here? First win of 2018 at home won't come now, because a kill will go in favor of the Skyhawks. Out of play, and the Griffins win in 5. An interesting call. Nearly took this game away from Westminster. These teams will play once again in RMAC season later this year, when Fort Lewis returns on September 22nd, a Saturday night, 4 p.m. first serve. Once again, coming up next, MSU Munco taking on Lubbock Christian. Griffins will be back, and I'll be back at 7 as the Griffins take on the Chaps from Lubbock Christian. Until then, we say so long and goodbye. We'll be back later tonight. Keep it locked right here for the remaining games of the RMAC Network.